This is an ancestor story called Pandora, which is known as absolute taboo that nobody must be involved in my hometown. This is how the name of taboo handed down in my hometown is expressed in Japanese. But I don't really know how to read this, so we use a word of Pandora to indicate this Japanese name in a sense that we must not open the truth of the meaning of this word. A town where I was born and raised was a laid-back country town. When I was a child, here was a boring town with no place where children could play around. But there was one outstanding spot that attracted people in this boring town, which was an empty house that seemed to have never been lived by anyone across several generations. This house standed in the middle of a boundless stretch of rice fields located in the outskirts of our town. This empty house was old enough to make us feel extraordinary antiquity that was totally out of touch with modern world. In a countryside, there were so many old empty houses in the middle of rice fields. But in case of this house, there was a reason that attracted our curiosity. The first reason was an extreme adverse reactions of adults around me in terms of this house. Just even mentioning this house drew outrage from adults and my parents. I got a strong slap on my cheek by my father because I talked to him about this house. Any children in my hometown were under the same circumstances I was. The other reason was that the house had no entrance. I didn't know why, but the house had no entrance to come inside, although there were windows and glass doors. I was wondering then if someone had lived there, how they could come inside of the house. Had they possibly come inside from one of the glass doors? These mysterious factors stimulated children's curiosity as much as it was talked about the most among children. We named this case Pandora before we knew it. Most of the children, including me, tried to explore the house to find some secret that made adults react that way. But it wasn't easy for us to put the idea into practice because we knew just even putting this house into words provoked parents and adults' anger. Where the house was located was obscure, and children could easily go there. Me and my friends went there once and observed the house to enjoy a scary mood. A couple months later, after I entered a junior high school, one of my male friends showed interest in the story of Pandora, and he talked to me that he wanted to absolutely visit this place. Let's say his name is A. A's mother is originally from our town, and she had moved to another prefecture after she got married, but she had returned back to his grandmother's house in our town on the occasion of divorce. A lived in our town for the first time, and he knew nothing about Pandora then. At the time, I had friends male B, male C, female D. A was quite friendly with male C and female D, so A naturally blended in with our friendship. When we all five gathered and were chatting each other, we were talking about Pandora as a matter of course, so he started having a curiosity about Pandora. My mom and grandma were from here. Do you think I'm going to be scolded if I ask them about this? It'll be definitely going beyond being scolded. My mom and dad seriously slapped and hit me in the moment I put this house into words. Me either, it suck. We just started complaining about our parents' awful treatment while we were explaining Pandora to A. After a brief explanation about this house to A, we started talking about what was inside the empty house, which we were interested in the most. Does nobody knows if there's something in there? No, I've never entered this house before, and I definitely get told off whenever I ask them about this. Probably our parents are only the ones who know about this. Well, if that's the case, there is no reason that we hesitate to explore this empty house. A answers triumphantly. Me and my three friends except for A were reluctant to visit the house because we knew that we would get enraged by our parents, but we got talked into A's passion and we consented to A after all. There was actually expectancy in our heart that we might be able to know the thing that we have ever been prohibited to even talk about, even while we showed reluctance to approve A's suggestion. We met each other at a later date. These sisters newly joined our exploration team, and we decided to visit the house in the afternoon on Sunday. On Sunday afternoon, we gathered in front of the house with a feeling of excitement. I remember everyone took a backpack with full of snacks. Everyone was so festive. As I told you, the empty house stood in the middle of rice fields, and no entrance was built in this house. It was a two-story house, but it seemed to be impossible to climb to a window in the second floor. We had no choice but to break a glass door to go inside. A said, "It's not the problem just to pay the damage of the glass door." He didn't hesitate to break a glass door with full force and went inside. We followed him while we were worried that we would surely get enraged by our parents even if nothing would happen to us. The place where we entered right after we broke through a glass door was a living room. A kitchen was in the left of a living room. A bathroom was in the left of the hallway in front of a living room. A staircase leading to the second floor and an empty space that should be originally for entrance were in the right of the hallway. Inside of the house was brighter than we expected, probably because it was afternoon then. But I felt that the hallway was slightly covered with darkness because of no entrance of this house. Interior of the house was unexpectedly beautiful in contrast to worn-out exterior of the house, or rather, I could say there was nothing inside. In other words, no furniture was placed inside the house, and there was no trace that made us feel someone had used to live here before. A living room and a kitchen are very wide compared to those in a normal house. Nothing here. It is quite a normal house. I just expected that I would come across something strange here in this house. We were exploring a normal kitchen and a normal living room with nothing special. But we got tired of exploring normal rooms with nothing special, and we started eating snacks that we brought with a backpack. I'm sure something mysterious would happen in the second floor. Me and D's sister were about to go to the hallway to head to the second floor. But in the moment we walked out to the hallway, we felt our hearts skipped a beat. The hallway stretching to the left led to a bathroom, and there was a dresser in the middle of the hallway in the left. I found something like a tension pole coming out of the front of the dresser. Human hair was hung on that tension pole. I'm not sure how I can explain this situation, but it was like a wig that formed a woman's back hair in the shape of a human head that was hung on the pole. The height of the pole seemed to be adjusted to average woman's height in the seated position. It's like a woman with the average woman height sitting right in front of the dresser whose head came to the top of the pole where something like a wig was hung. Seeing this staff from a distance, anybody might think a lady is sitting right in front of the dresser. I got goosebumps all at once. What? What the hell is that? Other male friends heard our astounded voice and came out to the hallway. They were also taken aback with this bizarre scene. Only Dee's sister was breezily asking us what that was. What was that? Real hair or something? I don't know. You want to touch it? A and B said, but me and C seriously stopped them from doing such a thing. Don't do that. It's disgusting. Something may happen if we touch it. Guys, stop it! We were seriously terrified beyond words confronting the real strange scene no matter how we thought about it. We decided to return back to a living room for the time being. A dresser couldn't be seen from a living room, but even just looking at the hallway made us feel disgust. What are we gonna do from now? We need to go through the hallway if we want to go to the second floor. I'm not going. I feel disgust. Me either. Feel like something bad will happen to us. Me, C, and D completely lost courage and motivation to explore the house anymore because we saw unexpectedly weird stuff. You're gonna be alright if you're trying to bring that thing inside. Even if something came out of the second floor, a living room where we broke into is right next to stairs, so we could get out of there easily. On top of that, it is still afternoon, right? Apparently, A and B absolutely wanted to go to the second floor, and they gave three of us reluctant to go there a kick in the ass. That's easy for you to say. When three of us faced each other to decide what we were gonna do then, I suddenly realized that Dee's sister was not there. Everyone realized that Dee's sister was not there. We stood around a glass door of a living room where we broke into. It's impossible for her to get out of this house. Having said that inside of the house was white, we could look out over the room to make sure if she was here or not at the first glance. We were sure that Dee's sister was not in a living room. Sister, where are you? Answer me. Dee was calling her sister loud seriously. Hey, she's possibly in the second floor, isn't she? That word turned our face to the hallway all at once.
What? What does she think she's doing?
Dee got teary-eyed, and she was shouting out her sister's name.
Just come, we're gonna go to the second floor.
We didn't have time to say that we didn't want to go there, but we rushed out to the hallway immediately and ran up the stairs to the second floor.
Hey sister, where are you? Hey, cut it out, that's enough, just get out of there.
Everyone is moving forward while calling Dee's sister's name, but no answer was replied back by her. In the second floor, there were 2 rooms there. Doors of each room were closed. We firstly opened the door of a room right in front of us. This was a room with a window when we saw this room from outside. There was nothing there, no Dee's sister here.
That way.
We came close to the other door and slowly opened it. Dee's sister was there, but we froze without a word there. There were the same things that we saw in the first floor in the middle of the room. A dresser, tension pole sitting in front of the dresser, and something like a wig which was thought to be made of woman's back hair there. The room was covered with really weird atmosphere. Everyone except for Dee's sister was stuck down by the side of the scene in front of them.
Hey sis, what the hell is this?
Suddenly, Dee's sister asked Dee, and she took unbelievable behavior in the next moment. She came close to the dresser and opened up the top drawer out of 3 drawers of a dresser.
What?
The thing she showed us from the drawer was a paper with Japanese words on it. Apparently this word was written with a writing brush. We didn't get this situation, but we were just staring at Dee's sister. We lost words and stood there as firm as rock. I didn't know why we couldn't move even an inch at the time. Dee's sister put the paper back to the first drawer and closed it without carrying it, and she took something out of the second drawer. The thing in the second drawer was the same one in the top drawer, a paper with Japanese words on it. We were in panic and trembling with serious fear. Dee's sister ran up to us and started crying out.
What do you think you're doing?
Dee seriously scolded her sister and took the paper away from her sister and tried to put it back to the second drawer. But at the time, Dee's sister had already closed the second drawer right after taking the paper out of it. This fuck made one hell of a mess. Dee was really in panic, and she took the second drawer for the bottom one. In a moment she opened up the bottom drawer. She froze and was just staring at inside of the drawer with no movement.
Hey, Dee, what's the matter?
Dee somehow started moving finally. In a moment we came close to Dee and Dee's sister. Dee banged the drawer back. Strangely, she put her shoulder-length hair near her mouth, and she started sucking her hair.
Hey, what are you doing? Come on, get a hold of yourself.
She returned no reaction even while we kept calling her, but she was just sucking her own hair. Witnessing this weird scene, Dee's sister was crying out loud, and we were seriously in a tense situation.
What the hell's gone on here? Who knows, it's fucking hell. Let's get the hell out of here. We must not be here.
3 of us held Dee in our arms, and I grabbed Dee's sister's hand and got out of this house immediately. While we got out of this house, Dee kept sucking her hair. I didn't know how to deal with this situation. At any rate, we rushed to our parents. We ran into my house nearest from that house, and I shouted at my mom. Dee's sister was crying out. My 3 male friends were being stained with excessive sweat, and Dee was still taking eccentric behavior. While I was confused to think what I should explain in my head, Mom was coming to us.
Mom!
When I tried to explain this situation in a tearful panic, she slapped me and my 3 male friends, and she yelled at us.
You guys went to that place. You guys were in that house, weren't you?
I could only give a nod to questions from my mom, having a terrible, angry look that I've never seen before.
You guys go to a living room now. I'm just gonna tell parents of your friends what's going on here.
She told me like that, and she held Dee in her arms and took her to the second floor. As we were told by my mom, we went to a living room, and we just sat down and we were spacing out in the living room. We couldn't think anything at all. We were detained in the living room for about an hour. My mom and Dee didn't come down from the second floor until parents of my friends gathered in my house. They seemed to be upset and go all mad.
What did you see? What did you see there?
Our head went blank against rapid-fire questions from each parent, and I couldn't answer the questions. And B somehow explained earnestly what had been going on in the house. We saw a dresser and a woman's hair. We just broke a glass door. Anything else? Was that all you saw in the house? On a paper with words that we had no idea. My last word made everyone quiet all of a sudden. At the same time, huge screaming voice came out of the second floor. My mom lashed up to the second floor. A couple minutes later, this man was coming down while being held by my mom. This mother's face went to pieces with tears that I couldn't look straight at. Did she see? Did she saw inside of the bottom drawer? She drew near us and asked us, did she open the drawer of the dresser and see something in the drawer? I'm talking about the third drawer of the dresser in the second floor of the house. Did she see it? Other parents also drew near us and asked the same question. We saw the things in the first drawer and the second drawer, but only Dee saw inside of the third drawer. As soon as I answered like this, Dee's mother strongly grabbed at us and blamed us. Why didn't you stop her? You're her friend, right? Why didn't you stop her from doing that? Dee's father and the other parents told her, calm down. Please get a hold of yourself. They soothed her, and she got her nerve back after a while. She returned back to the second floor with Dee's sister. We left the place and moved to B's house, and the rest of the four of us was told about the house by B's parents. That house where you guys went has been lived by no one from the beginning. That house was built only for dressers and hair. The house had already existed when me and other parents were only kids. The dresses right there are a real one that someone used to use in the past. Woman hair right there is a real one. The words you saw on the paper were these, right? B's father said, and he picked up paper and pen, and he showed a word after writing it on the paper. Yes, exactly, this is what we saw there. After we answered, he crumpled the paper into a bowl and threw it away into a garbage box and kept talking. This is the name of the person with that hair. You never know how you read this unless you know how to read it. That's all you can know about this. Never ever talk about the house. Don't even get close to the house. You guys stay here this night anyways, alright? When B's father was about to stand up, B asked him resolutely about D. What was D going on? Why did she... B's father opened his mouth before B finished saying his words. You just forget about her. She will never return back to her former self, and you can never see her again. And B's father kept talking sadly. Her mother will keep holding grudge against you guys during her lifetime from now on. I will not blame anyone for this matter this time. You might already understand why you can't be involved with Dee's mother. You saw her face. He said and left the room. I wasn't able to think more about the thing then. I don't actually remember how we spent time after this occasion. It was a long day for us. Since that day, we had spent normal days, and nobody had talked about this incident. I'm not really sure what is going on. Her family moved somewhere 1 month later. They reported to our school that they moved for personal reasons. Since that day, this incident had been widely told to residents in our town in addition to us, and our family concerned in this incident. Everyone put effort into trying not to talk about this incident in the house, so topics related to that house and this incident faded away naturally from our town. I heard that heavy fences were set up around the house and the glass doors where we broke into, and anybody could no longer get into the house. Me and my friends have never got close to the house since that day, and I grew apart from my friends because of the incident that made Dee crazy. We went to another high school and we moved out of this town after graduation. It has already passed over 10 years since then. After I graduated from a university, a letter was sent by Dee's mother all of a sudden. Profound messages from Dee's mother has been still stuck in my head. A mother always have considered last resort for her kids until the end. If the code that my daughter had become crazy like that had been you, I would have used last resort to you, even if it had been contrary to humanity.